Welcome to the life and times of JC Otero for episode 11, Camping on a Whim. What are we going to talk about this time? What is JC going to share with us? Well, as you can probably deduce from the title, it has to do with camping and it's on a whim. So, are you ready? Just kidding. But no, so with the the life experience that I'm going to share with you here is something that very fond of and cherish it as being one of those very key experiences in my life, and I was just so thankful for having it. And it was all made possible by my uncle Bucho and Michael. Although he wasn't my uncle by blood, he was still kind of like my Uncle Michael, and both of them. And so basically, what happened? I have to double check, but I think it was 91 or 92, and it might have been the summer before I went to Mexico. And I actually still have the picture of when I went. It was like they gave you this kind of like picture, and it showed like all the activities you did, and a picture of like your cabin group or whatever, which my cousin Juan Pablo was part of in the same group. So basically, what happened this summer was, my uncle at the time, he's no longer with us, um, but he was always kind of the main piece of the family that connected everybody because he was the only male. And he had six sisters, and he was the third from the youngest, with my mom and aunt being the youngest twins because their mother passed away in labor. But so he always maintained the family and everything, and everyone loved him. And it happened quite a bit where cousins or his nieces and nephews would send their kids over for summer and stay with Bucho, or he would bring them in or something. There's quite a few people that stayed with him, and he helped them. But in this particular summer, what happened was the cousins that I would eventually go stay with in the summer, they came down, and they were going to go to a summer camp. I think it was a month long, and it was called Camp La Junta. I don't know if it's still around, but I don't even know where it was, but somewhere outside of Austin. I want to say it took us like an hour to get out there. But anyways, so they just flew into town. I got to meet them. I don't know if I had met them before by that time. I just can't remember. It was a long time ago. So anyways, um, so I'm like, man, this is so cool. You mean they just flew in from Mexico and they're going to this camp for a month and they're going to go horseback riding and camping and shooting guns and bows and arrows and like swimming and like, oh man, that's just so awesome. How come I'm not doing something like this? So I was like really upset that I wasn't going to do it. So at least I think of the story I was getting was that I was just too young, which I'm sure I was at the time. I mean, 91, I was like 7, 6, 7, 8, whatever, 92. Pretty sure it's 91. Anyways, so I went with them to go get dropped off and everything. And while we're there, I see all the kids, and they're just like, oh man, they look like they're gonna have so much fun. Everyone's getting introduced. Everyone's moving in their cabins. You see everyone like with their sleeping bags and their luggages or duffel bags or whatever. Just like, oh man, all these people. I'm like, please, 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 like, let me do it, and blah, blah, blah. And so eventually what happens is they ask, the camp counselor, like, hey, like, we weren't planning on having him, like, go to camp, for the month or whatever, but it looks like he really wants to do it. Do y'all have any openings? And Michael somehow negotiated for me to do it, and I guess they paid them on the spot, or they did something to make it happen. And so I won't ever forget this, but what happened from their point was like, obviously I didn't pack anything, right? And this is the same uncle that did the random trip to Mexico and the beach and the motorhome and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, well we're away from San Antonio. Obviously, we're not going to drive back, pack up all your clothes, and then come back and drop you off. Like, that makes no sense. So let's go to Kmart and let's go on a shopping spree and buy you everything that you need for this month long experience, which was just incredible. So I remember going to Kmart and getting like all the most badass stuff that I wanted, like shorts, shirts, swimming trunks, shoes, underwear, like everything, right? Flashlights, like everything I wanted. And so we just went and bought everything, and then we came back to camp. I had all my stuff, and then they left me there, and I was just like, "What? This is crazy, man." So I can't remember. I want to say it was before Mexico, and then maybe I went to Mexico after that. So maybe I did meet some of them because not all 4 of the kids came. I think just 2 of them did, Jose Luis and Juan Pablo. But um, maybe I did meet them before, and then I went to Mexico in '92. This is gonna be like very investigative and figuring out. But anyways, so this camp, man, was like so awesome. So when Pablo and I stayed in the same cabin, and he was like real shy at the time. One of the memories I have of him is we used to do this thing at night where we would like, you know, show the flashlights, kind of like make like a disco, and we all had to dance. And he would just like slept on the top bunk. He'd jump down and just run across, and then he would then like kind of hide a little bit. Um, Other experiences that really kind of stand out. We found a brown wolf spider, brown spider or something in the bathroom. I remember everyone in cabin just being like freaked out. I remember the meals at this camp. Like I think one night or one morning or something, um, the breakfast is like they'd bring out these plates and be like a mound of bacon, a mound of sausages, and like hash browns and eggs. And it was like family style, and everybody would just be devouring and stuff. And the food was just so. I mean, it was obviously not healthy, but it was just so fun being in that environment, having like all the food you wanted, and awesome activities we did was first time horseback riding. I got to ride a horse through like a river. I wish my horse's name was like the Little Apple or some shit like that. Got to go through a river that was terrifying as a little kid. Got to shoot a gun for the first time. It was a rifle. I remember one night we camped outside in the rifle range and we were sleeping outside there. Obviously not shooting guns, but just being outside over like a covered roof. And it was also my first time seeing a daddy long legs. Walking over this small little black speck with these big ass legs and everything. I also remember like bows and arrows, like that was really awesome too, like being able to shoot those and targets and stuff. And there was also kind of like a lame arts and crafts thing that I was very fond of. Made some little cheesy tomahawk thing. But one of the cool things about this Camp Lahunta was that they had like two groups. So when you got there, you got assigned into groups. So you had the running W's, and then you had something blue. I was running W, which was like kind of the cooler one. And so it basically kind of created these like groups of people where like even though you're in the same cabin with people, you could be like either running W or something else. And then what would happen is then there would be like competitions and all these different games and sports and things, and there'd be even like days where you're like, okay, everyone's participating in all these activities, and you earn points, and then you see who wins, and then who wins overall then gets like this amazing like dinner. And so that was pretty cool. I remember we used to play kind of like capture the flag or recon or something like that, and it would be like massive. So that'd be like camp wide. So you'd have like teams of like 100 kids on each side or 50 or however many they were, and be just using the whole camp. Was just incredible. One other activity that I was real fond of too was that there was this kind of like man-made pool. It was basically like this giant concrete square, and the lifeguard, he would throw these like metal balls, real tiny little pellets in there, and you'd have to go find it in this murky dark water, and then whoever got the most would win. And I wrecked at that game. I was real good at finding stuff underwater. I also kind of got to do a little scuba diving there in the river. That was a little terrifying because the tank was so heavy. I felt kind of like overwhelmed by it, and I think that was kind of a traumatizing experience because I never tried scuba diving again. That's something that I definitely want to do. And luckily, one of my cousins, he's like a master diver. He like goes in tanks at NASA and stuff like that. So I do have the resource to do that. So hopefully, at some point, I'll knock that out and get experience doing that. But man, this camp was just so awesome, and because of it, even to this day, um, with my kids, I definitely want them to experience something like that. And with the proliferation of technology devices and things like that, I don't think kids are getting out as much. And I think summer camp is a great way to kind of get them disconnected. Plus, it also just teaches them a lot of things about life and stuff. And I wish I would have been able to go to more summer camps, but I'm just so grateful and fortunate to have at least experienced one summer going camping on a whim. And I thank my uncles for making that happen. And also for my mom letting me go. She's always supportive of me going on adventures. I'm like her Juanito el Conquistador, which she kind of calls me when we joke around. But and I have other camping stories too. A lot of them are just kind of funny because I haven't really. I want to do more camping, but every camping experience I have it just doesn't seem to really work out well. I'm going on like 5 so far. But yeah, those are for future episodes. But thanks for sitting in here for episode 10. Actually, my bad. Episode 11, camping on a whim. That makes it a third of the way to 33. I don't know if I'm just gonna try and power through this. It's already like 4:02 a.m. by the time I'm finishing this one, episode 11. I probably won't get very much time tomorrow after like 6 o'clock to get this done because I got dinner plans. So I really kind of got to get this done. kind of get this momentum going, keep on track. So I'll see you next episode. Have a good one.